Alright, so I started playing Rome 1 again. For the past year I've been modding Rome 1, and when I play online it's usually Rome 2, but I kind of miss Rome 1 a little bit, so I decided to get some games in, because I can make videos that show my mod and play the game at the same time, I decided. This video is Egypt versus Sparta, and my Egypt faction has been reskinned to represent the Egyptian army that fought at the Battle of Raphia, which at that time Ptolemaic Egypt was a Hellenistic kingdom. The army was made up of a core of Macedonian and Greek veterans, and then they would hire a lot of mercenaries to kind of fill out the army, but they started recruiting at the time of the Battle of Raphia, large numbers of the native population to fight in a pike phalanx, which the Greeks later regretted, but it was something they had to do if they were going to ever defeat the Seleucids in battle. So I guess I'll show my army first. This is my general, and since I made my last Egypt video just to show skins, I've made some changes, and this is one of them. I reskinned the chariots, the Egyptian chariots, using the Seleucid chariot, which I like better than the Egyptian one, which had a giant blue thing on the back, which I always found annoying. So my general is with this chariot unit. I have 2 units of Cretan archers. At Raphia, I think the Egyptians had about 500 to 1,000 Cretans that fought in that battle for them. I have 4 units of Egyptian pikemen. So these represent the natives. I think it was about 40,000 of them that took part in the Battle of Raphia. And then I have 1 unit of Pharaoh's guards, and these represent the veteran Greek pikemen. And on this side I've got 2 units of Judean slingers. The Egyptians hired a lot of mercenaries from Judea, and I chose slingers, the Egyptian slinger reskinned as a Judean slinger to represent those mercenaries. And on the right side here, across from this shallow, because there's 2 crossings on this map, one is the bridge, I have 3 units of Galatian mercenaries. The Galatians were Gauls that fought as mercenaries in the armies of a lot of people in the Mediterranean area. A lot of kingdoms hired Galatians. They made good mercenaries. They were good soldiers. In Rome 2, Egypt has a unit called Galatian Royal Guard, and also this faction my faction changes are based on what you see on the Egypt faction in Rome 2. I have 3 units of Carian axemen. Carian axemen were Greeks that were from Anatolia, modern day Turkey, and they served as mercenaries in a lot of the armies of the Mediterranean also. And this is a unit also that's available in Rome 2 to Egypt. And then in the back I have 1 unit of Egyptian chariots. So this army I picked to fight an open field battle. I didn't realize that the map was a bridge map. So when the game started and I saw the map, I thought there was probably a good chance that I wouldn't win, just because my opponent was playing as Sparta. So I'm going to start the battle so we can see the opponent's army. His name was ELIMATOR. And I'll pause that. Okay, so he took a lot of hoplites. Hoplites and archers is all he took. And that's what you want to do in a bridge battle if you want to win. All you have to do is put hoplites there and on the bridge, and then outshoot your opponent. And it's pretty hard to lose unless you play stupid. So most of his infantry are Periosi hoplites. He's got 7 on this side of the battlefield. Periosi were free men that lived in Sparta, but they did not have Spartan citizenship. He also has 5 units of these Helot archers. The Spartans didn't believe in throwing weapons. They thought it was cowardly to kill from a distance, so they would let their slaves do it for them, or they would hire mercenaries. And on this side of the battlefield he has 5 more of the Periosi hoplites, but he also has 2 units of Spartan heroes of Sparta, and that's his general there with one of his heroes of Sparta. So he went for numbers. He's got lots and lots of hoplites, but they're not really heavily upgraded. My units have a few more upgrades than his. So when the battle started and I saw his army and I saw my army, I thought, for certain I was going to lose. So I decided to try something to get him to do something stupid. I charged my entire army on this side of the battlefield across, and I had no chance to beat him to that crossing. So pretty much all he has to do is sit right here and he can shoot me to death, and I'm not going to be able to get through all those hoplites he's got. So already my Egyptian chariot unit routed, and now my Carian axemen and Galatian mercenaries are trying to get through, but they have no shot. You can't fight your way through pikes like that, and all of them rout. So I'm going to pause that right quick, and I'm going to take a look at what's happening on the other side. Right before I made that move to send all my units across in a big blob like that, I ordered my Judean slingers to attack his general unit. The only problem is the Judean slingers have such crappy range that in order to reach him over there they had to run across the bridge to get closer, and they ran into these hoplites and routed. So then I sent some Egyptian pikemen across. But just sitting here at the bridgehead, you can hold back a whole army with just these 3 units right here. Pretty much the rule in a bridge battle is whoever tries to cross first is probably going to lose. And you can see that my pikemen are completely out of formation. They're fighting with swords, and now they're routing. So my maneuver on this side of the battlefield, though, did work. After routing all of these units on this side, he felt comfortable crossing. Once a unit routes it, their morale gets so low that it's easy to route them a second time. So he feels very confident crossing, and he really should, since he has 7 units of hoplites. And really the units I have opposing him aren't that strong. So he's now crossing. Over here I've got my Cretan archers firing on that big mass of hoplites on the other side. Cretan archers have good range and they can reach, but these slingers, once again, I ordered them to shoot, and they went charging across into those hoplites. Okay, so now my opponent has all his Periosi hoplites across, and I'm going to try and surround him. The Carian axemen are throwing javelins into his hoplites. So he sent these hoplites charging against my Galatian mercenaries, but they're out of phalanx formation right now. And in a sword fight, my Galatians can take them. He sent 4 Periosi hoplites chasing after my javelin men over here, but he's not going to be able to catch them, and he realizes that, so he turns them back around. But now they're catching javelins into their backs. And over here I've got a chariot unit coming. And as they crash in there, they rout one of the hoplites, and then 2, and it turns into a chain rout. So this side of his army is completely destroyed. If he had stayed on his side of the river there and just shot me with arrows, he could have killed my entire army, but his overconfidence got the better of him. And once those hoplites exposed their backs to javelin fire and to chariots, they became easy to rout because he didn't upgrade them very well. So I had sent, while that was happening, I sent more Egyptian pikemen to attack across the bridge, and once again they were routed. So I'm doing what he did on his side of the bridge. I'm just going to put my 1 elite unit, Pharaoh's guards, here to hold the bridge, and the rest of my army is going to cross and attack him from the other side. While my Cretan archers pour arrow fire. He started to send 2 units of Spartans across, but changed his mind. So now I've got him blocked here with that 1 unit, and the game plan is to have the rest of my army come around so I can surround him. I'm taking my time sending my units across because they're tired after all the fighting they did. A lot of them have already been routed, so their morale is hurt, and they're missing a lot of units from each, a lot of men from each unit. My Cretans are still firing arrows, as you can see from the side, but I'm going to stop them after a while because I want to save some arrows for the final battle. He's got some Helot archers firing back here, and my 2 chariot units are sneaking around. I want to get in here and kill these archers, but with all those hoplites there, it's kind of difficult. I think his plan was just to build kind of like a new box around the side of the bridge and facing in every direction, but he was slow to do it. So right there I took a shot at trying to get to his archers, and I took out one of them. He had 2 Helot archer units, but I also lost a chariot unit in the process. That chariot did come back from routing though right away. My general's right here with the other chariot unit. So I brought an open field army, and I was getting ready to fight him in the open field, but he decided to quit, which seems to happen a lot on Rome 1 these days. A lot of people don't play to the end. It says close victory, but I don't think it would have been. Had I got my army around, I think I would have had a lot of troops left, and I would have destroyed his new box there, but I didn't get the chance to do that. I think I fought 3 battles on this day, and all 3 of them ended with my opponent quitting before the game was over. This guy at least did admit defeat first. The other guys just raged. But anyway,